see heaven's design. Not the broken girl I was, but who am in his eyes. I'm learning how to love a woman looking back at me.
Hey, family, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Felicia Lee White, aka Coach V, here at Beyond the Mirror podcast. And thank you for joining us for our third episode. I'm always really excited, y'all. And I am so ready because, as you know, here in Houston and probably around the country, we are in this crazy weather period. So I came prepared with my onesie on today. And, this is going to be one of those topics, and we're going to jump right into it. First, before we do that, let's recap last week where we talked about who is your biggest influencer, and I hope that you gave yourself an opportunity to kind of sit and think about that. But the one line that we left off with, that was our reminder, was at some point you have to decide that you are your biggest influencer. And that really resonated with me because I had to really think about that a while after looking at my family and things like that, that yeah, I have really been influencing myself. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. But we're going to dive right in today. And the reason for that is that this is a topic that is near and dear to me. Whew, and I even brought my hanky, right? Because I get asked a lot of questions about it. I get DM'd a lot, so it's really something that I wanted to talk about today. But as you know, let's go back a little further. I'm Felicia Lee White, aka Coach V. As I said, I own the Women's Health and Fitness Center. I'm an author, professional fitness competitor, mother, wife, and all around woman of faith that wants to encourage other women in all areas of their life. So if you haven't had a chance to visit and see our other episodes thus far, please go to YouTube and do that, any of the social media platforms, and just stay tuned because we have so much more to come. But today's topic is, let me get my glasses. Don't y'all like these? Because I'm a fan of glasses. It is the woman behind the muscle. I'm going to drink a little water on that. The woman behind the muscle. And thank you to one of our warriors at the Women's Health and Fitness Center who is assisting me in some of the scriptures, because some people know more than others, right? So this one says, the woman behind the muscle has weakness and is fragile, and at times fragile and vulnerable. But he says in 2 Corinthians 12 and 9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God's strength shines in your vulnerability. That's 2 Corinthians 12 and 9. And I encourage you to go back and read that. But I'm going to get into who I am and how I got here and why I'm here. People see the muscle. They see the muscle. They see the trophies. They see the discipline. What they don't see is a woman who needs to survive. I needed structure to survive. So let me go back and tell you a little of my story. As most of you guys know, I'm a recovering person. I'll be 32 years in June. And when I started working out, I started going to John Mitchell. John Mitchell is my mentor, my brother, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. And the reality is, man, that if I had not found this sport, if I had not started doing this, I'm not quite sure what would have happened, because I was so out of sync with life, and I needed something or somewhere or that would help me put my feet back on solid ground, right? So I'm a long-term member of Narcotics Anonymous, and that saved my life. That saved my life. My sisters and brothers in the room saved my life, but I also needed something else. I could no longer do the things that I used to do, and that right there said, you have to find something. People see the end result, but what you don't know is what you have to go through to get there. Muscles for me is just not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. It's a inside job. It keeps me grounded. It showed me that I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me. And it kept me safe. It kept me safe. It kept me safe. It gave me a sense of identity. It gave me a sense of pride. It gave me a sense of worthiness. It kept me safe. And so I started doing that in my, I think, late 30s, early 40s, and just did my last show in November, I think. No, just kidding. And every time I stepped on that stage, I had a sense of not only accomplishment, but a sense of pride and a sense of of my own. See, when you're a mother, a wife, owning a business, all these things, you are pulled in all these different directions, and you don't get to have anything to yourself. And this is my story. I had nothing to myself, and so this allowed me to have something that was mine, that only me and God can do. Only me and God can get up on the stage and do those things. But behind the muscle is still that little girl. Behind the muscle is sometimes a smile, but a frown. Behind the muscle is vulnerability. Behind the muscle is somebody that still needs to belong. And so this is a story of a person that found a sport, found her being, and found her life. Now, I don't know about all y'all, but everybody has what belongs to them. Everybody has what they use or what they do to be their authentic self. This made me my authentic self. Uh, it's something about going in a gym, throwing weights, doing things that I wouldn't necessarily think that a woman at my age could do. And it's some gratitude and a sense of pride behind it. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but behind the muscle is Felicia. Behind the muscle is the person that still gives of herself. Now, let me say this. I still get lost in translation. Have you ever been in a room uh, with a million people and still feel like you're alone? Well, that's what happens to me sometimes currently. And so I have to go in and come out and deal with the woman behind the muscle, because what you guys see isn't always what you see. Whew. What you see is not always what you see. Now, God gave me a gift, not only the gift to gab, but He gave me the gift to be able to help other women become their authentic selves. And I'm so grateful for that, right? I'm so grateful for the people who came before me, and we're going to talk about that too. I'm so grateful for the knowledge of how to transform my body from the inside out, because I'm not afraid to step on anybody's stage at any time. Don't get it twisted. I'm never afraid. But let me back that up. I'm not afraid to step on the stage, but there's always fear to step on the stage. I'm not afraid to step on the stage, but there's always fear to step on the stage, which means that before I get up there, this is rumbling and this is bubbling and this is nervousness. But my mama always said, if you're not nervous, something wrong with you. But let me hit that stage. Everything that I was taught, all my everything that I was taught, my parents, my aunties, everybody that has gone before me goes with me. Because sometimes you need to take somebody else with you when you're doing some stuff. Sometimes you need to, oh geez, you need to take some other people with you when you're doing some stuff. I'm grateful for the Women's Health and Fitness Center because it has given me a platform to be able to tell other women that we transform from the inside out. We don't just, this is just a shell. This is the temple God gave us that we are trying to take care of. But we transform, I transform from the inside out. It's not an outside job. What it is that I need to be honest with the fears, the anxieties, the untruths, the, oh my God, I made a mistake. With all those things, I still have to be honest and stand in my truth. That's the woman behind the muscle. The woman behind the muscle is still afraid to say, God dog it. Come on, somebody. That's why when you're in my gym, I tell you, get your butt up off my floor, man. Don't drag up in here. These are all theisms that sometimes my language may not be the best, but my heart is always in the best place. You see, because we can do those things, but when you let somebody else control your every being, meaning I don't want to go left because he or she said don't go left. I don't want to go right because he or she said to go right. I don't do that. I can't. That doesn't work for me. The God that I serve tells me, not you. The woman behind the muscle. This sport of fitness competitors, of bodybuilding and fitness and all that, man, it's wide open. I've had the pleasure to compete from Houston to St. Louis to Phoenix to da. I got a little nephew, Tay who came to me when he was a teenager and wanted to do it. Now he's the bomb, right? I've had the opportunity to take other women to the stage because they transform from the inside out. They didn't just decide that, oh, okay, I want to hit a stage. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. It's just not a lot of physical work. The woman behind the muscle is just not the physical work. It's the inside job that makes the woman with the muscle so important. Strength doesn't start by what you see on my body. I just told you I'm a recovering person. I suffer from a disease for which there's no known cure. So in any day, I could get screwed up. I could get screwed up, but with the help of the God of my understanding and a 12-step program and keeping myself lined up, I'm good. How about you? How about you? How this is the question. Listen here. Who are you allowing to keep you from making your physical line up with your inside? Who is keeping you and telling you what you don't need to do? Who is it? What is it that's keeping you from being the woman behind the muscle? I'm telling you, I see so many women that come in the gym that somebody's saying what they don't need to do. How do they know what you need to do? How do they know what you need to do? God gave you one temple. One temple. That's it. One. And then how you gonna tell your child what they don't need to do and you ain't doing it? How you gonna preach over here? Oh, come on, somebody. Oh Lord. I see this all the time. People preaching and preaching and preaching about what people need to do and they ain't doing it. When is it gonna be time for you to take care of you and quit telling other people how to take care of themselves? This is just for me. You can't train me and you a fat trainer. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. And that is you okay. You already know the first thing you see on people. If you go to a hairstylist, you're looking at a hair. If you go to a gym, you're looking at their body. If you're in a church and the preacher is messing with the deaconess, you see it all. It's the same. It's the same. It's all the same. I know I'm ranting, I'm raving, but this topic is really important to me because it saved my life. It saved my life. And for that, I am truly, truly grateful. The woman behind the muscle. Who is the woman behind the muscle? You see, and let me say this too. You watch social media and you see these women, and no offense to them, because some of these sisters are the bomb.com. I got some we're going to talk about. Or the bomb.com, right? But I have personal relationships with a lot of women that are physically and mentally and spiritually lined up. I said this physically, mentally, and spiritually lined up. Physically, mentally, and spiritually lined up. You can't do you got to do it all. And the excuses on why I can't be the woman with the muscle. Now we're using the word muscle, but I'm not. We're not talking about everybody is not going to be on stage doing this, right? It's a metaphor. But I, at this point, am the woman behind the muscle that I'm speaking about. And it saved my life. I'm grateful. Uh, and there's other things behind the woman behind the muscle, right? There's other things and there's other people and there's other situations. And so, whew, I am really, really grateful. You have no clue how grateful I am to be able to express what God has done for me. So, what has He done for you? Strength isn't vanity, it's survival. Strength is not vanity, it's survival. It's survival. Whew. I am so grateful that I'm grateful. Whew. So, we're going to bring a few people to the front on our transformation, our client, our friends and family spotlight today. And I have a few people that we're going to spotlight today. The first one is John Mitchell, the man behind the muscle for me. John Mitchell started me on this journey of health and wellness when I first got clean and sober. And had it not been for him, I'm not sure what would have happened. And then I need to bring Yolanda Smith to the front. Yolanda was the first person who I saw at the time. I saw that was strength. And she was my very first posing coach. And then I have Tanya Youngblood, aka Storm, and Tanya has thus married, and I apologize, I'm not sure what her married name is, but Tanya used to hit the stage with white hair, Storm. You guys know the character Storm, and she to me was the epitome of strength. And I also had the opportunity to work with her before a show. And next I have Michelle Bland Muncie, who has been my posing coach for the last, I think, 10 plus years. And she gets me. And all these people that I'm mentioning understands my recovery, right? And there was nothing or no lengths that Michelle hasn't gone to make sure I was good. And last but not least is Coach Lazarus Crumedy. I think I'm pronouncing. We just call him Laz. Now, I had to work with Laz this last 16 months on my last show because my main trainer, John Mitchell, was on the other side of town. I moved. And I was in fear of working with Lazarus because I never worked with anybody else. I need to tell him thank you for understanding my brain, for understanding how I see things and how I operate. This topic for me is very personal. Whew. And thank you, Lazarus, for making me a 20 plus trophy winner this last time around. And we're still working together. Guess what, Lazarus? They asked me to do Miss Houston in May. Shh, we'll talk about that later. And so these are my spotlighters for the day, for this episode of The Woman Behind the Muscle. And I thank you guys for understanding the woman behind the muscle. And I'm going to leave you with this. Strength isn't vanity. It is survival. It is true survival. And if you don't believe me, try it. If you don't believe me, try it. I'm Coach Fee. Whew. This has been Beyond the Podcast with Coach Fee. And I will see you next week from my closet to you.
I look in the mirror, I see heaven's design. The broken girl I